Hey everyone, I'm Sergeant First Class Brian Sakawa, saxophonist with the U.S. Army Fieldman, and today we are here at the home of Dr. Paul Cohen, saxophonist, educator, and, I hear, owner of quite the collection of saxophones. Is that true, Paul?
I have a few instruments that I've collected over the years. Some of them I play, some of them I write about, and some of them are my professional horns. They're kind of everywhere. Some there, some here, some there. Which ones do you want to see?
Would you mind showing us all of them?
Let's start over here.
Let's go.
So glad Sal was wrong for that. I need an extra.
Dr. Cohen, this collection is absolutely amazing. As a saxophonist, it's like being in heaven. There are so many things here that I don't even know what they are. I've never seen in person before, and I know we're all super excited to see them. So
Well, choose one. Let's talk about it.
let's talk about a few of them. Yeah.
So what is this here?
This is the Rifle and Husted slide saxophone, an instrument made in the 1920s. Part of a series of slide saxophones that manufacturers made at the time, but this is the most elaborate and in many ways the most functional. Give it a try. It's a soprano saxophone with 2 octave keys.
Okay, so make my trombone friends jealous here. Wow, that was wild.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Very well. And of course it goes down another octave too, if you want to play the lower octave.
Oh, really? Wow, that is something.
The slide saxophone from the 1920s.
Tell me about this guy.
This is the amazing Conusex, an innovative instrument made by Cohen in the late 1920s, around 1928. They advertised this instrument for about 6 months. It became instantly rare. Nobody bought it because it's in the key of F. It looks a little strange. There's no music written for it at the time, and the Depression hit the next year. So they made, we know of about 20 or 25 that we can track down that are left, and this is one of 2 that I have in my collection.
You have 2 out of 25.
Yeah, I used to have 3.
That's pretty
And
good.
as they said in the advertisements, it plays like a saxophone. It sounds like an English horn, and because of the bulb at the bottom, it looks like a heckelphone.
Okay, let's try it. It really does sound like an English horn.
What a beautiful sound you get out of it. That's really something. It has a range to low A and up to high G, and it really requires its own special F mezzo mouthpiece in order to sound like it does.
Well, thank you for letting me use your mouthpiece.
Nice playing.
I recognize this instrument because I've heard of it being used to demonstrate overtones. Obviously, there's no keys. What can you tell me about this one?
The Selmer Company made this instrument for me some time ago when I went out to Elkhart to give a lecture on my instrument collection. I toured the plant, and I had worked out of the Rasha book for many, many years, and I asked if they could make one for me. And they first said, yes, we'd be happy to do so. And they said they would do it during the summer when their production was much lighter. They did that for me. They sent it to me in September as a courtesy. I was very grateful, with a little note saying, we made 2 of them. We're never going to do it again. It's so disrupted our production line to take each individual part to make sure it didn't go through the regular assembly that it really screwed up the production for the whole day. But we're happy to have them, and hope that you can use it for your teaching. And I've used it ever since.
Well, it's really cool because we cover overtones in the DVD, so I'd love to try some on it.
Try it. It's an Overtone monster.
The world's most perfect low B flat. It works.
It works very well. And the one thing to think about this, even though this is made off of a Bundy body, our professional saxophones, whether they're Selmers or Yanagisawas or Yamahas, if you strip down all the keys, take out all the tone holes, remove all the mechanism, they will all look this emaciated, this lean. So it's something to think about. This slim little tubing is our alto saxophone that we do all of our concert playing on.
Neat.
All right, the one that I really want to know about as soon as I walked in is this bad boy over here.
Twobacks.
What can you tell me about this instrument?
The Twobacks is a new instrument. It's been made only for the last 20 years or so by Benedikt Eppelsheim from Germany. He's a genius instrument designer and maker. This is a contrabass saxophone with a slightly different shape to make it more compact. It has a range an octave below a baritone, same range as the traditional big contrabasses that we sometimes see. And what's amazing about this instrument is, even though it's big and looks unwieldy, it's the easiest playing of almost all my instruments and is a great sounding horn. You should try it.
I gotta try this one out. I guess I don't need an extra for this one. So we got to pick out a couple of our favorites. So what are some of your favorites that you have in your collection? Can you show them to us?
Well, one of my favorites is a favorite because of the size and because of its rarity combined. I have a curved King Sarpenino saxophone. That's the only one they ever made. And I got it through a wonderful set of circumstances. But I'd like to show it to you. It's that one over there.
Absolutely.
This is a real favorite of mine. This is a curved King Sarpenino, the only one they ever made. It's ornately engraved, it's brilliantly made, has a detachable neck, and it's gold plated. But beyond that, it has a really terrific sound. That's what it sounds like.
It's amazing. This one is intriguing to me. Honestly, I've never seen an instrument like this before. It's a saxophone.
It is a saxophone.
It's a saxophone, but it has no keys. We've seen the keyless one, but it has a piece of leather. So can you explain a little bit about this one?
This is another slide saxophone from the 1920s. This one was also made by the King Company from Cleveland. This slide saxophone indeed has a slit in the middle of the horn. So one moves the fingers down and up on the leather to change the length of the slit being covered. It's got notes impregnated on the strap, so you can actually play discrete notes, and you can get a complete range on the instrument. It was a novelty horn for the 1920s.
That was my next question. When were they using it? When were they playing it?
1924, 1925. These were strictly novelty horns, and they didn't expect them to have a great lifespan, so they weren't greatly made, and they were somewhat disposable. So because of that, few of them were made, and even fewer of them exist. Around. This is the King C Saxophone.
Very cool. Now, we just had a look at one of the smaller instruments in your collection. I hear you've got quite a big one somewhere else in the house?
Yes, I had to park it in another part of the house because it's too big for this room. Okay. Let's go out and find it.
Great. Well, Dr. Cohen, what do we even say about this one right here?
This is the granddaddy of all saxophones. This 6'6" instrument was made in the first part of the 20th century, and it's only one of 25 that were made. We know of about 12 that are left. Wow. This is an E-flat contrabass saxophone, an octave below the baritone, and it first was used by the military as a marching band instrument in the early part of the 20th century.
Could you imagine, like, marching?
And there were even the guy hooks on there where the strap would go on.
Wow.
That proved impractical even for the military, and they later replaced it in the early 1920s with the E-flat contrabass sarrusophone. That's for another story. But this instrument is magnificent in its stature and its floor-rattling quality of sound. It's an extraordinary instrument to have.
There it is. Yeah.
Can you do a scale that goes from middle C down to low C and then to B flat?
Yeah,
I know if
E doesn't work. Or it's the F that doesn't work. Nope, scales are too hard.
How about arpeggio? C, E, G?
Nope. That's ridiculous.
Well, it does take a little time, and it takes a mouthpiece that's best suited to the size of the instrument to get the better response. So the contrabass mouthpiece itself is enormous, and that, as hard as it is to look at blowing it, it actually makes it work better with the instrument. But it takes some time to play.
That's, I'd have to practice a lot.
Well, Dr. Cohen, we've seen quite a few saxophones today, but I know that's not all of the saxophones that you have. So where can we find out more information?
You know, I have 150 instruments in my collection, and with a lot of unusual variants of the ones that we've already seen, and they're all completely fascinating. But you can go to my website at tothefourpublishers.com, learn some more information about the instruments and some other recordings and some music for these things, as well as come to see my lectures from time to time in the area.
It's a great resource. Another great resource, whether you're a beginning or an advanced student, is the Saxophone Standard, our comprehensive guide to playing the saxophone. We invite you to check that out on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/US Army Field Band. Dr. Cohen, it's been a real pleasure. Thank you so much.
It's great to have you guys here. Come back. There's much more to show you.